This is part 8 of 10 of our response to Addison Everett's message in the COGR's Revelation series.
Oh, the final dominion.
When the kingdom would return, the dominion would return, and accompanying that return of that kingdom would be a travailing, and that travailing would bring forth what? A man-child. So what happened in the morning time? There was a kingdom, a dominion. They travailed, and that travailing brought forth a man-child, which is a great harvest of souls, a nation born at once. Here Micah's telling us that after the captivity, that first dominion would return again, and there would again be another travail, another bringing forth, signifying a harvest of souls at the end of time.
Well, we're told that travailing brought forth a man-child, which is a great harvest of souls, a nation born at once here, speaking of Micah. It's telling us about the captivity of the Jews and the deliverance of Israel. And then they move that forward, and they talk about the first dominion that is immediately following Jesus when the apostles were functioning. And then, of course, there was the apostasy. And they compare the time of what they call apostasy with the time that the Jews in Micah's day were in. And then they talk about the fact that God's going to bring forth another dominion at the end. And that dominion is going to have people, kings and governors and what have you, and they're going to be in power. And there's going to be a final end time harvest of souls. So that's it's an interesting interpretation of the book of Micah, but you won't find other people holding that because it simply doesn't hold true as you work your way through it. But for them, it works pretty well.
Yes, dominionism.
Dominionism. And it's, again, they make an effort to show how Scripture lines up with their particular group, but they aren't able to do that. And in the end, it falls apart. And, actually, the New Apostolic Reformation kind of runs, that's a very loose-knit federation of churches, all of which have apostles, by the way. So I don't know if you get the NAR together with the Church of God Restoration, we'd have to kill off a couple of thousand prophets in order to get down to just the real prophets. But
Yes.
In their teaching, they believe that God has put into place kings to assist in areas like media and business and that sort of thing, so that society can be redeemed by them.
Yes.
So it's a similar idea. And I've also heard sermons about, if you remember when the nation of Israel left Egypt, that they spoiled the Egyptians. They took all their jewelry and all their good stuff. And I've seen that applied to the church as well. So Ray anticipates the crowds coming in bearing great wealth for the COGR. I'm not sure that I see that happening, but I know that I've heard that. That it's supposed to, it's anticipated, and I wonder if the COVID thing didn't create a false expectation that it was actually going on.
Oh, I'm sure that Elmer was pretty excited when people started to come and sit out on their lawn when the church was locked. So they experienced a small taste of that. So a small multitude of people arrived in Elmer, and then shortly after, the multitudes left. So I don't think they were anticipating that.
Yeah, and I don't think the people were anticipating what they began to hear either.
So no, the people who arrived in Elmer didn't hear anything about Ray Tinsman or Stephen Hargrave, the three apostles, nothing like that. Henry Hildebrand was preaching Jesus, preaching the Bible, and most of his sermon was political. It was about COVID and how the church must be open, the church must gather. Once the border opened, and you had the apostles from Greenville coming to Elmer, then things changed and people started to leave.
This concludes part 8. Thank you for joining us. The resource slides go by rather quickly for sake of time. You may wish to pause on them to read them. There is a link in the description box to the Google Classroom, where you will find the resources for this video.
Disappointment is a bitter pill to swallow, paying back the hope I borrowed from someone I never knew. And it's a forfeit, humans in the suits of heroes, undressed by whispered conspiracies, in quest for the truth. But if the truth is what you're looking for, you don't get to choose the answers anymore. So tell me, do you really still believe that the truth will set you free? I do. I do. Someday, well, if the truth is what I'm looking for, I don't get to choose the answers anymore. So tell me, do I really still believe that the truth will set me free?